Hi, this is Isabella Fernandez and Hannah Schultz, and we will be doing a presentation on Edward Gorey, an American writer and illustrator.
Edward Gorey lived from 1925 to 2000. He started drawing pictures at the age of 2 and teaching himself to read by the age of 3. He took art classes at the Art Institute of Chicago before going into the Army, and eventually he even went to Harvard to study French literature and continued with his love of art and illustration. There's no firm count as to the number of books Edward Gorey illustrated for others, but it was likely well over 300 over the course of his life. He lived a large part of his life in New York and became a close friend of the founder of the Gotham Book Mart. He launched his own private press imprint, the Fantod Press, in 1962, but he sold many of his copies through the Gotham Book Mart. In 1973, he designed a production of Dracula for a small theater on Nantucket Island. It attracted a lot of interest, and in 1977, a couple years later, opened on Broadway as Edward Gorey's Dracula. In 1983, he resolved to leave New York City behind and live in Cape Cod, where he became more active with his small experimental plays, continuing to publish, exhibit his art, create etchings, and maintain a lot of commercial projects. He began writing and illustrating his own work, starting with his 1953 book, The Unstrung Harp. It was an illustrated 64-page novella about the creative struggles of a novelist. It stands today as one of the early precursors to the graphic novel movement, in which both text and illustration tell a story. Another one of his most famous books is called The Gashly Crumb Tinies, and it's a cult classic alphabet book. He also wrote over 100 other books. Here are some pages from The Gashly Crumb Tinies. The book just follows along with the same kind of theme and is considered a cult classic because it's kind of, sensitive subject matter, but it's fun and interesting.
So the style of Edward Gorey's books and art often follow kind of the style of surrealism. He illustrates all his drawings through an interesting pen and ink texture, and also uses a lot of cross-hatched type textures throughout his images. As you can see in the ones displayed below, they're all in black and white. He uses a lot of enigmatic figures, and his art is often, and his books are kind of interpreted as being grim or morbid, but the style really is kind of whimsical because they are actually appropriate for children. His style is considered macabre, which is a quality of having grim or ghastly atmospheres. Some of the awards that Edward Gorey won is Best Costume Design, and for his production of Dracula, he won a World Fantasy Award for an artist. He won the Bram Stoker Award, the Lifetime Achievement, and he won the Raven Award, which is for his book, his illustrations in the book Dracula. And so that concludes our presentation. Overall, Edward Gorey was a very interesting and definitely a hallmark artist and also writer of our time. He won awards for many different areas, from anything from being an artist to actually costume and design to, and I think an interesting part about Edward Gorey is that his work ranges from all ages, so it can be interesting to little kids, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and even well ranges into adults. And so yeah, that concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.